Bueno, hello everyone. I am trying to call my friend and beautiful teacher from Nayana Yoga. Let's see. We are going to wait for her to come to us. Okay, this is totally my first. So let's see what happens here, how it's gonna work. So I invited her already. Hello everyone. I hope she's joining soon. So we are going to be talking today about my favorite teachings that I love to do in for yoga, which is all about the energetics. I think this is incredibly important. Hello, Graciela. Hi. Thanks for joining. So as I was saying, I am waiting for my teacher, Harmony, whom we are going to have a beautiful conversation today about, there she is, about the energetics. So let's wait for her to join. Ah, hi, Harmony. Okay. Oh my God. I have to say that I am a little bit nervous about my first live, but I'm very happy to see you. Very happy.
Yes, so thank you for welcoming me into your virtual space. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. So I met Harmony for the first time in also an online training that she was offering about the Mahavidyas. And as you all know, the ones that knows me, that I am very passionate about understanding the energetics of our body. This is what I love the most. In all the years I have been walking the path of yoga and many other paths, and when I heard about the Mahavidyas, which are the feminine archetypes, and it's all about the energetic body, so immediately I felt drawn to you. And after watching some videos, and yeah, of course, because I also have amazing friends that recommended you, but it was the moment that I saw you that I completely resonated with your way of teaching. So that was our first encounter. Then you came to Ibiza and an amazing workshop on Kamalatmika, welcoming this very powerful energy. And now I am very happy that we are collaborating for this new phase that you are starting with the uh, training in English.
Yes, I would say also with the Mahavidyas, it's a fascinating journey, but I also feel that somehow the energetic alignment training is almost like a preparation because you're already understanding the core theories and the focus, the energy-based focus for the practice. So then when you go on and you deepen in the practices that we do with the archetypes, with these powerful feminine cosmic energies,
Absolutely.
then this the techniques are already familiar and they can really be taken on in a more profound and direct way. So yes.
Absolutely. But even for me, I mean, I really have a formation in not only yoga, but also especially in Prana Vidya. And still, there were parts of your training that really surprised me, like working with yantras, for example. That was really fascinating. I never did that before. And that's something that was incredibly intense and beautiful for me. So, how is it with the yantras? Can you
Yeah.
tell a little bit about it?
Yes, let's say that the work with yantras is a very, very powerful practice, but it's also a whole science in itself coming from Tantra. So we can say that the way that, that I use yantra practice in these teachings is opening up a path towards this. So by no means I can say this is everything that you need to know about yantras, but as it's so complex, I think especially for people coming from the West, which maybe don't understand the use of yantra beyond it being a beautiful image, they can really understand how this work, which is sacred geometry, of course, is also enabling us to connect with specific frequencies of the universe. So it really is a practice of dharana. It's a practice of concentration. So initially we need to first come into the body, which means that our asana practice is a preparation to actually gain a greater control over the mind. And once there is this focus, then we are able to contact with other forces beyond the body in order to channel other energies. So it's like, let's say it's taking another step into our practice. Because essentially, this is where we want to get, is to not only have some kind of, I don't like to use the word also control. I would say in Spanish, dominio, like some,
yes, sovereignty about our own energies.
Yeah, to be able to actually kind of draw in those energies which are actually beneficial, the ones that we choose as well.
Absolutely.
Because quite often what I find is that we are, as we're becoming more sensitive to the energy around us, not only within us, we can also become very yin. We can become very, very oversensitive, but at the same time not be able to control the energies which are coming in. And this can also create some imbalance. So there needs to be also these practices which are really more of focusing and gaining that kind of more yang approach in order to become selective and actually say, this is the force with which I would like to align in order to bring that into my body. When I say body, I'm not only talking about the physical body, of course. And this is actually a very powerful tool for our transformation.
Exactly. Yeah. I keep talking always about alignment. And the moment when I saw the title of your training, I was like immediately interested. And that's why I wanted so much to, collaborate and even be in the training. What is exactly for you energetic alignment?
Yes, I think this is a good question. It's a good place to start. I think that, for when I started teaching yoga in Spain many years ago, there wasn't so much yoga around. So I was like, okay, how can I transmit this? And at the beginning, I was using the word chakra yoga. This is the way that I described it, because the basis of this practice is in order to really begin to work with the energy bodies, our first step is not only to theoretically know about the chakras, but really actually come into a space of purification so that we can actually begin to feel these energy centers. So this is kind of like the basis, as it were. And as yoga has had this big boom, what suddenly I found was that using this word was actually leading to some misinterpretations. So let's say that the yoga that I have been teaching for so many years is not so much focused on perfecting the physical asanas, but it's more about refining the consciousness and becoming aware of the subtleties of our inner landscape. So for me, it was very important to be able to distinguish between what we're doing here and what is quite often taught in more popular or modern approaches to yoga. And so for me, it seemed coherent to begin to use this term of energetic alignment, because there is this emphasis in alignment, but we're actually drawing the awareness to the subtle fields of the body. And the arriving in the physical body is the same way as just building the structure of the house. But we really need to get in deeper and begin to look into all of these more subtle aspects in order to really come to know ourselves. And this is also opening up to the psychological self, the emotional self, and of course, for me, which is so important, is the divine self as well.
Exactly. And before we go into what is the sacred body, which is the title of the conversation today, because you know we both love that. You said something very interesting, which was the refining the conscious. I think this is the in many ways exactly what yoga is actually for. And I totally agree with you that sometimes it goes all into the physical body and into the perfect asanas and in the fact of if I am flexible or not. But actually, we in our Western mind forget that we actually are working towards or are going towards the refining our consciousness. This is exactly, and this is what I love so much in of teachings.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. I don't know, the idea for me came to say that this is actually a natural process. You know, you and me more or less have a similar age, and we know that something that we love about getting older is also that there is this natural refining of the consciousness. We begin to understand things, maybe those things that we couldn't actually see so much as we get when we were younger. So let's say that the human nature is that of evolving towards greater refinement of the consciousness. And yoga is, and meditation, of course, give us certain tools in order to amplify that natural capacity that we have. Because the yogis really believe that we have such a limited amount of time within this body in order to explore this plane. It's not the only one. But how can we use these tools for purifying ourselves, for steadying the mind, and be able to come into this full comprehension of what the hell am I doing here,
Exactly.
in order to actually begin to come into that space of fullness, of ripeness.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what now we are talking, it hundred thousands of ideas are coming to my mind that I want to talk about and but what is the sacred body for you exactly?
Well, maybe we can just say that the way we approach our body should be in the same way for me as we would enter into the most sacred of temples. So, you know, if you are preparing yourself to go into this amazingly special place, you will wash yourself, you will choose your clothes carefully, you will take your shoes off, you will go in carefully, you will respect the space, and you will connect with your spirit. You will connect with something above and beyond yourself. And sometimes we forget that our body is this temple. And so it's about everything that is related to coming into this place and recognizing and honoring the body as a sacred temple. And I think that so often we forget about this. And this can be in not only in our internal practice, but also in the external practice. How many times we just get up in the morning, just roll out the mat and just start doing an automatic practice. It's much more than that. And when we come to really treat our body as this sacred temple space, the response of our practice, what we receive, will also have that same quality of magnificence.
Absolutely.
So as Tantra is always teaching us, you know, what is outside is also what's inside. So if we cultivate within ourselves that which we would like to appreciate outside, then we will actually for sure have that direct experience. And I think that what has been missing for so many people is the sacred. So the sacred is not what we can find. We're looking outside. So if we can first create that sacred space within our body, in that relationship, in that dialogue, in that praising to be in awe of this miracle, which is our body and everything that it contains, then we're already resonating on a very nice vibration to be able to deepen in our path.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And yes, of course, for me, for example, the more I went deeper into the yoga path and I start understanding that we have definitely more than one physical body, that we have way more bodies and we are multidimensional, then the moment when you have, you have the different bodies, the emotional body, the etheric body, and then at the end, coming to your divine, which is yourself. And it's a correlation of all these bodies. So we are in a whole sacredness, all of us, right?
Yes. And I think the interesting thing to add to that is that we still use the word my. It's my subtle body. It's my physical body. And what we really, I feel urgently right now in this moment in time, also need to come out of this illusion of me-ness and my-ness, which means that when we really recognize that the spiritual body and the more subtle bodies are actually collective and universal, then we are more able to drop this idea of the small self and actually vibrate in unison. And I really believe that this is not only what we need, is to come into this recognition, but I already think that there is more and more this intuition that it is this. So there is a greater desire on the collective level to experience that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is what I was thinking when you talk about refining our consciousness. I remember that I heard when someone, our language limits us because the way we speak, we talk about my illness, my problem, and we make our, and even the way we also need to refine, also ethics, actually be in a whole Maya, which is being energy and information, and we are not really aware of that. Because one of the things that I love the most on the energetic and all what we both love so much to learn and teach is how can we apply all of that to our daily life? How that we find this alignment. But what we do in the mat is the life, and then we apply to life. This is what I always tell to my students. It doesn't make any sense when we are amazing in a retreat or through the whole teacher training, but then the moment we come to life, we are trapped into our, old masters and old ways to be. So it's all about refining. So how do you see in the training, for example, now the energetic alignment, what kind of tools we will be able to learn to our daily life?
Okay, so let's say to begin with, just becoming to recognize the depth of what is being magnified in the practice immediately makes us relate with other things in a different way. So let's say that you are heightening your senses. And when we talk about the senses, we're not talking like what is evident, but we're talking about what is deeper and beyond these simple senses. So the taste, the sight, the touch, the hearing, all of these are portals into a greater and deeper dimension. Each one of them are related also to not only to a chakra, but they're also related to our basic elements. So in the same way as you will be able to expand the depth of your experience within everything. So when we're talking about the sacred experience, it can extend to that which we perceive outside of ourselves. So when I come into the subtleness of taste, suddenly when I introduce some food into my mouth, the explosion of the flavors will also help me to recognize the divinity within the things that I eat, yeah, to give an example. Yeah, this is the way we can say it's reflected also in our life. So this is allowing us to actually come even into bliss, regardless of what we're doing. Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. And as you know, and everybody looking most probably also knows, I am a passionate Andasta yoga teacher, which is a kind of yoga that you blindfold. And since I discovered for the first time in my own teacher training, I was deeply in love. So are we going to see some parts of Pratyahara too, right?
yes, let's say that this is one of the things which has actually sparked a friendship between us as well. Is that we come from the same tradition. In the practice that I have always taught, we don't actually use physical covering
Right.
of eyes, yeah, but we always close the eyes in the practice. Let's say that in other types of yoga there is this emphasis on external drishti, external eye gazing, whereas in Jnana yoga, in the energetic alignment practice, the gaze is inwards. Which means that, of course, we need, if we use the model of Patanjali, in order to progress from the more physical aspect of our meditative practice and coming into a more subtle practice, we need to create pratyahara. And this, for me, is not only sitting in a meditation posture, this is in with each one of the asanas. In fact, for me, each asana is a meditation in itself. So once the eyes are closed, you can draw the energy inwards, direct the focus of attention towards a chakra, and from there you can actually deepen into the more subtle bodies. So for me, closing the eyes is this immediate gesture of coming within.
Absolutely. So beautiful. So beautiful. And I was having here our your proposal, and we were talking before, these days, what calls more my attention, what was grabbing my attention. I was like, oh my God, actually everything, but from the from the things that I haven't seen before in any of my trainings. For example, there is something that I loved very much. Everybody knows I love rituals, I love ceremonies, and this kind of align things. So this is something that totally draw my attention. The psychic parts of ritual. So we are going to also be seeing the how what can you tell us about the ritual in yoga?
So we can say that all kinds of ritual and rites of passage, etc., are so necessary. And in many of our Western cultures, we have lost this tradition. And this is one of the reasons that we feel slightly alienated from or disconnected. And if we look at what the rituals we have today, I mean, look at we're almost at Christmas. Look at Christmas. What has it turned into? And so what we can do to really help us reconnect is really understand the value of ritual. And some of these rituals are very ancient. There are specific steps that we can follow, and this also connects us with a more ancient tradition. And there's another type of ritual, which is more spontaneous, which is either way has to be charged with deep intention. But at the same time, exteriorizing that which we cannot necessarily feel within helps us to align with that quality or vibration that we would like to find within ourselves. So, for example, we can use a very evident example, which is the fire, or which is the fire which is also contained within this tiny fire, which is the flame of a candle.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we can say that when we really fully connect with why are we lighting a candle, what does this light symbolize, and what is the gesture that I do with this light? This is already creating a very deep reference for our subconscious mind. It's a support for the subconscious. So quite often articulated language is actually not getting as deep in there as a symbol, as an image, as a light, as a color. And these are tools which are, for me, like divine play. So we can enjoy these and we can make it as colorful and beautiful as possible, understanding that this joy is also helping us to connect with that which is positive and that which we would like to draw into our lives.
Absolutely.
At some point, it seems like a lot of spiritual practices became very dry and disciplined and heavy, you know. And I really do believe that in order for there to be a shift in consciousness, everything that we do has to be also joyful and attractive. Yeah.
I totally agree. Powerful. Yeah, I think there is a lot into that, a lot into really feeling, I mean, connecting to all of these details. As I said, you're right. All these symbols and colors and inputs that we are giving us, right? So absolutely. So there was, now we are talking about symbols, Shiva and Shakti, the energies. So how is this going to be in the training? Are we going to cover, because the amazing format that you are offering, like it also very much, I think is absolutely doable. What is going to be online? Because we are going to be having some 3 months of online once a week from 3 hours, right? 19 to 20 to 10. So what are we going to cover online, and what is be the part of the practice of the intensive?
Yes. So let's say that we're going to try and cover as much of the theory on our online classes, although there will be some practice as well. Obviously, this is essential. But I would really like to be able to dive deeper into the more practical classes. And also there's a lot to be said for energetic transmission. So let's say that when we are together in one space, we are also creating a certain energy field. And so we will really take advantage of this energy field and being in nature in order to do a lot of the more embodied practices. But the online classes, which we've tried to make as really accessible as possible, will be 3-hour sessions, a bit of theory, a bit of practice, but also some space for actually sharing and asking questions, because quite often it's when we have this interaction that we can actually really fulfill that deeper interest and needs that come up with the participants of this course. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to exploring this new format, because up until now it's been mainly a in-person training. But as we know, this whole last few years has taught us how to transmit a lot of our teachings online, and it's very comfortable for so many people that otherwise wouldn't be able to actually access these teachings.
Exactly. This is what excites me also so much, because it's really 100 hours of learning, 100 hours training, and then we are going to be half of it for the ones that are interested, half of it online. The other 50 hours is going to be an training in Presence, in Ibiza, in Italy. We are going to name the dates afterwards, and if not, you can find the links in the bio. You can also in my bio, of course. So access this course for everyone who is interested in energetics, or the people the ones that are interested, do they have to have a certification before?
Yeah, this course is really open for anyone who has a genuine interest. So we won't be working with advanced yoga postures, which means that anyone can really come. Although I have found in previous years that many yoga teachers are interested because we're really going into each posture with a totally new focus for many people. And the wonderful thing is that also we get to get together in a stunning location in Ibiza. And as we know, Ibiza is just got this wonderful Shakti energy, which really supports this practice. So I'm really looking forward to coming and having also this intensive program there with you.
Thank you so much. And it's going to be in April, which is amazing weather also. So yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Really, really excited about everything. I mean, I still have some amazing questions. For example, if we still have a little bit more time, I would love to talk about inner science, about mantras. How is that we are going to be connecting the energetics with the sound? I think that's also a beautiful, beautiful issue about, a subject to talk about.
Yeah. So we're going to be using mantra in different ways. There's the powerful bija mantras that we also use in our meditative practice. And these mantras we combine them sometimes with the use of yantra also. But also there's more bhakti practices. So for example, if you've seen the promotional video that we did in the last edition of this course, you'll see that we have our arti, and we really use these more ancient and traditional mantras to invoke certain energies into the space. And this is really making the practice also a lot more heart focused. As well as us really connecting with the ancient lineage of the yogis. So this is, the question is that I always look to translate the teachings into the most accessible language possible. But at the same time, the mantras is the ancient language. And we need to feel that ancient language within ourselves, because this is what connects us to something which is so precious and so ancient. And their language was not our language, the language we're using right now. And somehow when we utter, we pronounce these sacred words, our energetic body recalls this, and we come into connection with this energy field, which is so supportive, because there is the energy of the ancient yogis and yoginis who are there supporting us and supporting all of us in this particular moment in time.
So beautiful, so beautiful. So I'm really, really super excited about training. When for me, it was like, oh my God, it's made for me. It's made for people like me. So if there are people like me outside there feeling the need, to learn how to get to connect even more deeper. What I also like so much is that you are bringing the tradition from the Tantra, which I didn't have much now until now the time to opportunity to get really connected to all the Mahavidyas, but it was exactly just, not just, but what very, very straightforward to the feminine archetypes. So I am very, very keen to really learn more and understand about that. And I was also thinking, it's going to be January, February, March, 3 months of every week a weekly class of 3 hours. Going to be a complete enrichment of my life. And then finally, the finalizing of the whole process in the nature of Ibiza. It's like really amazing plan for the start of the year for everyone. At least it's going to be.
Yeah, and for me, it's also so enriching. Every time that there is a new group being formed, I receive it as a blessing, because each time that there is a training, I am retrained as well. It gives me also this opportunity of reconnecting with the teachings, and we are always changing. Every time I touch the same teachings, I'm not the same one. So I'm also a student, and this is for me a full blessing also. So I really also open my heart, and really would like to share these very special teachings with anyone who feels the connection. And also to say that if there's anyone who listens to this interview and they have some questions, apart from looking at the information that is quite detailed, they're most welcome to request a conversation with me, like a half-an-hour discovery call, and I would be very happy to answer their questions.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also in the links, there is this beautiful video you made. And also in your YouTube channel, you have amazing, beautiful material to really discover you. This is the way I did it when our beautiful Dunya came to tell me, Mika, that you totally resonate with the Mahavidyas. And when she started telling me about it, I was like, yes, that's totally my thing. And thank you so much. And this is so beautiful when someone recognizes this energy in you and points you out towards a path where you can really deepen your own teachings. Because I resonate with what you said. We are new teacher. And also this happiness to recognize that we are eternal students. We are always learning. And I have such a passion and love for learning. I mean, that, yeah, it's the most beautiful thing, because you really get such a broadened view and perspective of your life. And there is always something amazing to learn and to improve. My husband always says there is always for improvement. So that's what I totally agree with.
Mm.
Absolutely. Well, amazing. Thank you so much for this talking today. I feel very, very relaxed, very like my element. I really like it. I really like it. Very, very much. So thank you so much, Harmony, for
Thank
this.
you so much, Mika, for opening this space for this conversation. And, you know, regardless if we are talking about the training or not, it's been so nice just sharing. And I would be happy to jump online
Yeah,
every week and have a conversation about these beautiful teachings that we
absolutely.
are also embodying as we speak about them.
Absolutely. I was thinking I could be talking about this like for yeah, maybe we should do that. Yeah, just meet and talk about it, and whoever wants to join, because as we were saying, it's an open conversation. This is something that, regardless of training or not, is really beautiful to have this dark, this inner calling to bring this subject just outside, to make them common, to allow ourselves to see how sacred and divine we actually really are in our daily lives, not only when we are in rituals, or right, not only the yoga shala, but really also in our homes and our jobs, and yeah, with our children, every time.
I can see that someone has said, please do that. Yeah, so I think it would be nice if you've enjoyed this conversation that we've had. You can also send us your questions, and if there's any other juicy topics that people want to hear about, then we can jump online and talk about them. I would be more than happy to.
Me too, absolutely. Totally taking the invitation, your invitation, my own invitation, and from the people to really be more definitely present talking about this. Absolutely. Just, pour our hearts and our knowledge and whatever needs to come still to everyone.
Yeah, because the divine feminine is generosity.
Absolutely. Enjoy and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Equals and alignment. So thank you so much for this. And I said, please, anyone out there have questions and you listen to the conversation afterwards and you're enjoying this, feel free to send us messages. We are there. Very, very happy, both of us, to meet again. Yeah.
Thank you, Mika.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. And everyone who joined, everyone who felt the call to come to this first IG Live of Mika and Harvey, hopefully more. And it's open here for any questions and suggestions. So, thanks all and see you. Bye.